"All right, chaps, hand over the silver and you won't get hurt," says the masked bandit leader. "Lay down your arms, surrender your pouches, and you can be on your merry way." The 5 companions exchange glances. Some tighten their grip on their weapons, ready to fight. Others glance nervously at the undergrowth. There was not really any plan for this. The ambush was clean, swift, complete. They are flanked, outnumbered, outmaneuvered. Whoever these phantom arrows are, they sure know their trade. Gerhard rolls his eyes in frustration. They'd been warned in Delbers, by Remus the caravan guard, by Ibrahim the Strigani huntsman, even by the grumbling tollkeeper. And yet they walked right into this situation. But warnings are easy to dismiss from the safety of town, especially when you are under the scrutiny of the town watch. Franz clears his throat, softly but loud enough to be heard. Slowly, carefully, he reaches into his pocket and withdraws the green gambling chip that he'd snatched off one of Gerhard's assailants in that Delbers back alley. He holds it up between 2 fingers, letting it catch the pale light filtering through the canopy. A calculated move. A familiar bluff. Once again, he's betting on that small green token to mean something to the strangers in the woods. Something that might spark recognition or hesitation. He speaks, calm but firm, appealing not with fear, but with curiosity. Franz offers to parley, says he wants to learn more about their bandit operation, hints that he might be looking to join them, that they could be of use to one another, but the reaction is tepid at best. Blank stares behind masks, a few glances exchanged, then a scoff. The green gambling chip apparently means nothing to them, and neither does Franz's offer. A voice rings out, low, steady, edged with warning. "Silver now," says the masked leader. "All of it. Or this ends the hard way." A volley of arrows thuds into the dirt near their feet. A warning, no longer a suggestion. Brother Thaddeus exhales, long and slow. Then, wordlessly, he unbuckles his weapon belt and lets it fall into the mud. He raises his hands. The others follow, some with clenched jaws, others with downcast eyes. Pride bruised, but sense intact. There's wisdom in surrender. Sigmar teaches that battles must be chosen, and that survival is no sin. The bandits close in, swift, disciplined, impersonal. They take only coin, no weapons, no provisions, just every last silver piece. And, much to Franz's chagrin, the green gambling chip as well. And just as swiftly as they came, the phantom arrows melt back into the trees, swallowed by the shadows of the howling hills. The companions are left standing in the muddy road, lighter in purse, heavier in spirit. Silence returns, and for the first time, the road ahead feels very, very long. Greetings one and all, and welcome back to the Temple of Verena. My name is Brother Clavius, keeper of knowledge, servant of truth, and your humble narrator. Throughout this series, I will recount the exploits of a group of 5 adventurers as they journey through Sigmar's glorious empire. Everything you hear is based on real Warhammer Fantasy role-playing sessions, with real players making real choices and rolling real dice. The story will eventually lead into the epic campaign, The Enemy Within, if the 5 companions survive that long, of course. Now, let's get back to our story. Chapter 5. The Hills Are Alive. Ranald giveth, and Ranald taketh away. So sighs Gerhard, as he stares into the hollow depths of his coin pouch, now flaccid and pathetically light, swaying against his hip like a mocking pendulum. The silver he scraped from the Delbers cobblestones just the night before, gone. Relieved from him by quicker hands, Gerhard exhales slowly, half a chuckle, half a curse. Wouldn't have been enough to pay off Wittelsbach anyway, he mutters bitterly. 50 gold crowns, still hanging like a millstone around his neck. A debt owed to a crime boss back in Middenheim. Now, trudging along the rutted road that leads deeper into the howling hills, Gerhard allows himself the smallest shred of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this supposed wizard back in Delbers will make good on his young pupil's promise. Maybe this whole mad chase for a stolen Pegasus will eventually pay off. Gerhard crosses his fingers and says a prayer to Ranald for luck. The road continues through the hills. Grey clouds sag low above the treetops. Mist clings to the hollows. For hours now, the 5 travelers, Gerhard, Franz, Kleo, Dwinbar, and Brother Thaddeus, have been following a crude map. Nothing more than a scrap of parchment marked with a red symbol and sealed with the signet of the Great Oak Inn in Delbers. A trail of breadcrumbs, or a trap. The same inn where, only the day before, their one-eyed suspect met behind closed doors, under the watchful eye of the mayor's ogre bodyguard. The rider had left with a heavy purse of silver and a haste that spoke volumes. And now, the companions follow what would have been his trail through bramble and fog. All the while, the rider is in the custody of the Delbers town guard. Regret lingers among them like the damp air. They could have stayed longer in Delbers, questioned more witnesses, sought help, horses, a guide, even the services of a veteran like Remus Wolf. But they didn't. And now the road belongs to them, and to whatever waits within the hills. Kleo walks first, scouting ahead. He's light-footed, nearly silent, slipping between hedgerows and shadow like a child of the woods. But his eyes are not only on the trail, his thoughts are elsewhere, haunted. Fabergus Heinsdorf. The name turns in his mind like a blade, the witch hunter who led the massacre at Kleo's village months ago. His friends, his family, all burned in Sigmar's name. All of them gone, all but Kleo. He remembers the old wise woman, the one who taught him to speak to the colourful spirits of the Drakwold. She was no cultist. She called on Raya's blessings, spoke to herbs and winds, healed with song and soil. But her wisdom was mistaken for demonology, her voice silenced by fire. Now Kleo carries her legacy in secret. Not even Franz knows. He must be careful. The Empire has no patience for hedge witches. Behind Kleo, Franz follows at a distance, his eyes always on the boy. Franz never expected to become a protector. Not after his years running with brigands, robbing nobles and dodging road warden patrols. He's held a bow to many a man's throat. But those men were rich, privileged, cruel, often deserving. Franz never had an issue with forceful distribution of wealth, but he never had the stomach for slaughter. Meeting Kleo changed something in Franz. Perhaps it's guilt, or penance, or something stranger. He's found purpose in watching over the young herbalist, and in a world gone mad, that's worth more than gold. Bringing up the rear is Dwinbar Bronzebeard, cursing softly in Khazalid as his boots squelch through another patch of mud. But even he knows it could have been worse. The phantom arrows took his silver, yes, but the true treasures they overlooked. Deep in Dwinbar's pack lies a broken piece of the oathstone of his clan's ancestral hold of Karak Varn, as well as the rune key to its sealed vaults, sacred clan relics. For centuries, since the fall of Karak Varn, the Bronzebeards have lived in exile beneath Karak Norn, branded as refugees. Their king, Brock Ironpick, called Dwinbar's dream of reclaiming Karak Varn a fool's errand, no support, no gold, no warriors. But Dwinbar will prove him wrong, with grit, with allies, with fire and stone, and maybe with the help of his uncle Dimzad, a master runesmith. He holds the key to victory, but first there is silver to earn and dangers to face. Gerhard remains quiet, watchful. His eyes flick often toward Brother Thaddeus, the man in monk's robes walking just ahead. He's too smooth, too calculating, too practiced. Back at the wheel and anchor, the cloaked stranger whispered a warning to Gerhard. One of your companions is not who they seem. Now he watches Thaddeus closely. The man has a way of charming the watch, bending authority with a smile and a phrase. It's familiar. Too familiar. Gerhard's seen many a conman in Middenheim's underbelly. He knows the signs, all the moves. He just doesn't know what game Thaddeus is playing yet. And worse, he doesn't yet know which side he's on. By late afternoon, the howling hills turn sour. The mists grow thick and bone white. Branches hang low like gnarled claws. Birds go silent. Then, a signal from Kleo. He raises one hand. Something's ahead. What is it this time? Another pack of bandits? The group halts. Weapons loosen. Eyes scan the roadside brush. Then, They hear it, a ragged, rasping breath, wet and broken, disgusting. Creeping closer, the fading light reveals a figure, crumpled among the thorns, humanoid, shaking, tattered peasant clothes clinging to a form that is no longer entirely human. A twisted face looks up, half goat, half man. "Help me!" it rasps eerily. Kleo recoils. Franz grips his bow tighter. Gerhard can't believe what he's seeing. Even Dwinbar hesitates. The creature crawls toward them, bleeding, moaning, rasping. "Help me!" Then steel flashes. Brother Thaddeus steps forward with the fury of a firebrand. "Perish, mutant, in Sigmar's name!" His blade sinks deep. The creature lets out one final gasp and goes still. Thaddeus kneels, rolling the body over, and freezes, frowning. Around the creature's neck is a leather strap. Hanging from it, the twin-tailed comet of Sigmar, a holy symbol. "What mockery is this?" Thaddeus utters, snatching it free. Gerhard gulps. "It spoke Reichspiel," he whispers. "What is that thing?" They gather round, examining the corpse. It was human once, no question. Twisted now by some unnatural force. Not born a beast, but made one. Why was it here? Alone? Pleading? No one has answers, only dread. Then an echo through the hills. A long, haunting howl. Franz spins, arrow knocked. "Wolves," he says. "Very close. We need to move." They hurry to find shelter. Just off the road, they discover a plateau, a low rise with good visibility. Defensible, a camp is made, quietly. Each person chews cold rations in silence, the mutant's final cry still ringing in their minds. A watch rotation is set. One by one, they try to sleep, but none sleep well. On Franz's watch, the howl returns. Louder, closer. He walks the perimeter, bow in hand. Moonlight glistens on the stones, and then he sees it. Atop the cliffs above their camp, a silhouette, broad-shouldered, still, a great white wolf, massive, watching. Its eyes meet his, unblinking. It raises its head and howls once more. Franz swallows hard. His fingers tighten around the bowstring, and the night holds its breath. And that, my dear listener, is where we must pause. A mutant wearing Sigmar's holy symbol. A wolf that watches from the cliffs. And 5 companions, each bearing secrets of their own. If you've enjoyed this tale, I invite you to lend your support by subscribing, liking, or sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your voice helps our chronicles reach farther shores. Until we meet again, I remain your humble servant of knowledge, Brother Clavius of the Temple of Verena. May truth prevail.